You are about to listen to a Jason Burgos exclusive interview.
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I've actually been looking forward to this conversation for a while just because of the weird scenario that when I've done like guest spots on podcasts, the ongoing weird joke is always like, Burgos, are you related to Shane Burgos? Now, I'm sure you don't get that on the reverse side of it, but I mean, we have an interesting connection. We have the shared name. Of course, we're both Bronxites. The first thing I have to ask you about, where in the Bronx did you grow up at?
You know where Taylor Avenue is? Have you heard of Taylor Avenue?
I've heard of Taylor, but what's like the general kind of region?
Off the top of my head, I can't even tell you, man. I moved out of there when I was in 5th grade, so yeah. I grew up in the housing project, the Monroe project this fall.
Oh, I am too, currently in Pelham Parkway project, so I know your struggle, my friend.
Yeah, Pelham Parkway, yeah. That's my always work over there.
Where'd you end up moving to?
It's funny, I lived in the Monroe project, and now I moved to Monroe, New York. So it's about an hour away from the Bronx, yeah.
All right. And so how does a kid from the Bronx who goes from Monroe projects to Monroe, New York end up at Tiger Schulmanns?
My started watching Ultimate Fighter 2.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my friends were like, "Dude, we should try to do this stuff. It looks pretty cool. It's pretty fun." I instantly became obsessed with it, just watching it day in and day out. And then my friend Googled grappling, kickboxing, and Tiger Schulmanns popped up. And it was the closest gym nearby. We were like, "Isn't that like karate school?" And we're like, "Yeah, but they have grappling and kickboxing." We're like, "You know what? Let's go try it." Signed up for the 1-month trial. Didn't miss one day, and the rest is history. I've been on the same team ever since.
And what's crazy, I mean, I grew up seeing the Tiger Schulmann commercials on the TV. Of course, I wanted to go there too. You know, we just didn't have the money. But like you just said it perfectly. Everybody knows Tiger Schulmanns as the karate school, and now they have fighters like you and a lot of fighters that are really good. Like. Do you feel now, did you ever get that when you told people also Tiger Schulmanns, that kind of, the karate place? And has it changed now that there's so many good fighters, UFC level fighters, is like Tiger Schulmanns is like a legit MMA gym now?
Yeah, man, you said it perfectly. It was like a lot of people were like, "Oh, you train at a karate school, like not taking me serious." And then you see me and my teammates, we've been putting a lot of respect on our name for the last couple of years, just winning these big high-level fights on the world's biggest stage. I feel like finally, I mean, it took a while, but we're definitely get the respect we deserve now.
Now, of course, I want to go and talk about this humongous, monumental win in your career. I mean, you've had a lot of great wins, but this is a key one. How meaningful is it to beat someone like Cub Swanson, you know, a guy who has been towards the top of this division for, I mean, the better part of a decade?
Yeah, man, like you said, it's definitely meaningful. It's the most meaningful win of my career just because the name value. Yes, everybody knows who he is. Even if you're just a casual fan, you've definitely seen a Cub Swanson fan. Even people that aren't really fans, they've probably seen Cub Swanson play. So yeah, it means the world to have his name on my record and say win next to it. But it's just scratching the surface, man, at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Now, he has now lost 4 in a row, but to the elite level of the division. I mean, Brian Ortega, Frankie Edgar, Renato Moicano, aside from beating one of the best 145ers of the last decade, does beating a guy that really only loses to the best at this point of his career, does it give you a feeling of vindication, in that more people need to realize you are one of the best featherweights on the planet now, too?
100%. Like you said, he's only lost to legitimate competition. The best in the world he's only lost to. And adding my name to that list, I feel that proves that I am one of the best in the world.
Now, I have two kind of flip questions because we're talking about the best in the world. We're talking about division rankings and stuff like that. Now, a few days removed from the fight, I checked it yesterday. You haven't been moved into the top 10, top 15 rankings on the UFC site. Assuming you don't get moved into the top 15, after what you have done so far in your career in the UFC, and just beating this guy we're talking about, he was number 8. Now he's number 10. He only went back 2 spots. Is that?
No, you. Sorry to cut you off. No, he was ranked number 10 when I fought him, but the rankings did come out today. I'm actually ranked number 13.
Oh, fantastic! Because I was going to ask you, I wondered if they were going to do it or not. Because one, I was going to ask you if it was going to be a slap in the face to not be in the top 15. Now that you are in 13. I mean, what does that mean in terms of like how significant is that to be ranked top 15, number 13 on the UFC rankings, who a lot of people, at least in this side of the planet, view as the best 15 fighters in a division?
Yeah, man, it's awesome. It really is. It vindication right there, man. It proves that all the hard work, the dedication, the sacrifice that I've been putting in for the last 13 plus years, it paid off, man, and it's continuing to pay off, and it's going to keep paying off until I get that belt.
Now, of course, I was trying to see if I get some interesting quotes from you on the slap in the face, but you're 13. Do you feel like you maybe should have been higher?
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, you beat number 10, you should take number 10, right? But I know that's not how the rankings work exactly, so I expected to be somewhere in the 10 to 15 range. I didn't know exactly where, but I knew that just because you beat the guy doesn't mean you're going to take his actual spot, his number.
Now, I can't say it's confirmed, but Sherdog does 10. We don't do 15 to 10.
Yeah.
I'm fairly sure you're in the top 10 of Sherdogs now.
Yeah, yep, I just saw that. I was number 10 on Sherdogs, which a lot of people are like, we like Sherdogs better.
That's what I'm talking about now. Let's talk about a little bit about the fight itself. You've watched him. I've seen talk about in interviews. You watched him since you're a kid. You mentioned it. Everybody knows Cub Swanson if you watch the sport. So you had a general idea about his skills, but you truly don't know for sure until you're in there fighting him. Were there facets of his game that were better than you expected, maybe parts that weren't as good as you expected, like he didn't hit as hard as you thought, or maybe he was faster than you expected for a guy at 35, like any of those things when you actually fought him?
No, man, I really I did a lot of visualization for this fight, and it just went smoothly. It went perfectly, and nothing surprised me negatively or positively. I fought. He fought how I kind of expected how he would fight. Mm-hmm. Based off the way I was going to fight, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I wasn't going to go out there and just brawl and be a crazy, insane, one of those fight of the year fights. That wasn't my plan, just because I wanted to show that I had different facets in my game. I can go out there and be technical and show off my defense too and show off my kicks. So that's what I wanted to do.
I was watching the fight again last night because he stood for the entire fight, but in the third round he goes for that takedown. Do you take that him going for a takedown was the kind of thing like to you like, oh, he doesn't want any more of this, or he's worried he's losing, he's trying to get some points? Did any of that run through your mind when he did that?
Oh yeah, 100%. I knew that when he went forward. I felt like I was up 2 rounds, and I heard his corner say that he was down 2 rounds too. So I expected him to switch it up a little bit in the third round. I expected him to throw a little bit more. But I wasn't shocked at all that he was going for the takedown. I thought he might try to grapple a little bit in that round too. But as soon as I broke off the fence and we disengaged from that little back position, I knew to press forward because I knew that it was at that point I just felt like a whirlwind of the tides are really turning in my favor. It was a little closer before then, but as soon as we broke off, I just knew this is my time to really push the pace and put the pressure on.
Now, another interesting moment from the fight is, of course, when they're reading the judges' scorecards, your face is obviously evident. What was your final thoughts as the final bell rang at the end of the fight? What were you feeling at that moment? And then your emotions when that first 30-27 for him is announced?
Yeah, well, as soon as the fight ended, I was 100%, 150% confident that I won. I put my hands up right away, and I thought it was a 3-0. Three relatively close rounds, but I feel like I handily won all 3 of them. Maybe he got at the time I thought maybe he got a third because he had my back against the cage a little bit. Watching it back, I feel like I definitely had the third. But yeah, I was just taken back when I heard 30-27 for him. I just don't see how any judges could score that. That's no disrespect to him. I just don't see how you can give him all 3 rounds.
Now, going back to the Bronx stuff a little bit. Now, you mentioned you left when you were 5th grade. You moved to Monroe. Do you still feel like, because they were talking about it big time on the UFC broadcast. He's from the Bronx. The announcers talk about all this stuff, which was thrilling for me. Do you still feel like a strong connection to the Bronx and like to represent it on this UFC platform?
Yeah, man. I have a lot of memories growing up in the Bronx. That's all my childhood memories are from the Bronx, and I'm still over there a lot. My family's all from there. I up until recently, I had a lot of family that lived over there still. So yeah.
I mean, and as a person that lives here, there's not a lot of Bronx people, and especially Burgos is in pro sports, in the media side. Is it important to you to help put the Bronx or even Monroe, New York, both of them kind of on the map in terms of combat sports and letting them know, hey, there's legit talent. It's just not all in Brooklyn and Manhattan.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I take a lot of pride in my hometown right now, in Monroe and the Bronx as well. Be able to put those on the map, that'd be pretty awesome, honestly.
Now, after a win over a top 10 fighter with the hell of a resume, now you're ranked 13. Would it be a massive disappointment if you don't get another top 10 opponent in your next fight?
I mean, not a massive disappointment. I don't really. I'm expecting to get one of them. I really can't see not getting them. So, I can't see not getting them. So, yeah, maybe it would be a disappointment because I'm fully expecting a top 15.
Do you have any idea when you want to get back into the cage?
Hard to say. I got a vacation booked then August, maybe mid-August, somewhere around there, mid-August or late September.
All right, fair enough. Now,
or maybe even late July.
All right. Well, International Fight Week, maybe?
That card is basically done. We talked about it already.
Okay. Now,
I love Vegas, man.